what's up you guys? So today I plan on doing the New Year book tag thing. Let's do a book tag. So the first question is, how many books are you planning on reading in 2025? Right now, I'm planning on trying to hit 40 books. I think that that is doable. I think that that is realistic. Hopefully I don't get in a reading slump. Right now my reading is going really well. Right now I am very much enjoying everything that I'm picking up and reading. So hopefully we continue with that trend and we hit 40 books, because that is a little bit of a stretch compared to what I have been doing, but it's not too much of a stretch that it's unrealistic. And that is how I try to set goals. Next question is a book that you are likely to reread this year. I think I will probably reread Legendborn at some point this year. I really enjoyed the first book in that series. I really enjoyed the second book in that series. I really enjoyed the second book more than the first book. So much happened in it. So much that was just like, so much. I really enjoyed it. I really want to pick up the next book when it comes out. And so I am really looking forward to that. I am really looking forward to rereading those books. Now that I'm thinking about it, I almost want to pick them up and reread them right now, but I can't because I'm reading other books right now. It's fine. The romance in that book is one of the things that I love. It brings me so much joy to see Bree and Sel get into so many situations where they are just struggling. It's great. The next question is a priority read on your 2025 TBR. Right now, that's going to be the first book in the Stormlight Archive series. I want to make sure that I pick that up this year. I have had those books on my shelves for a hot second. Every time I look at them, I just get scared. They're huge. They're giant books. But I've heard so many good things that I just really want to pick it up, understand what is so amazing about this fantasy series. And then I also want to just read more stuff in the Cosmere. I really loved Brandon Sanderson's writing. I really loved Mistborn. I recently read a standalone by him called Warbreaker, which I really enjoyed. It was like a lot of stuff that happened in that book, and there were like a lot of like lore bits I feel like just sprinkled throughout that book. And so I really want to pick up another book by him, but it is just a little bit daunting because those books, like on Audible, the first one is 45 hours long. I don't have 45 hours to do anything. But that is definitely priority for this year. An author you won't be reading more books from this year. I don't really try to intentionally be like, I'm not gonna read from this author. I don't like to be super negative in general. So I don't really have an answer for this one. There are some authors who write stuff that's different from what I prefer. And so the book or two that I've read by them, I don't really intend on buying more books by them. Or there are authors where what they wrote that I enjoyed, they don't write that same stuff anymore. So I don't really buy their books anymore and that kind of thing. But it's not really like I'm trying to intentionally not buy an author's book, with a couple exceptions. So yeah, I don't really have an answer for this one. Something new you want to read, whether that be new genres or new tropes. Something I haven't read a lot of is the dark academia type stuff. I know that Babel kind of falls into that genre, and that's been one that's been sitting on my bookshelves for a long time. That is one that I'm probably going to try to get to this year, just because I want to try to get to some books that have been sitting on my shelf for a really long time. That's another just general goal of mine. There are some books that have just been screaming at me ever since I got them, up to 5 to 6 years ago. I cannot have a book that's just been sitting on my shelf unread for that long. That's a bit ridiculous. So I really want to try to get to some of those books. Number 6 is a popular book you want to read. The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo. I really like Leigh Bardugo. I really like her writing style. I found this book just randomly at the bookstore on one of the this book is popular tables, and I was like, oh my god, how did I not know that she wrote a vampire-y book? At least I think it's a vampire-y book. So that's one that I need to read that one. Number 7 is most anticipated 2025 book release. So I already kind of talked about this, but it's gonna be the third book in the Legendborn series. As soon as I finished the last book in that series, Bloodmarked, I was ready for the next book. Bloodmarked ends on such a cliffhanger. I hope that's not a spoiler. It ends on such a cliffhanger that I'm still shook months later. I just need to pick up the next book and fall in love with it because I am scared for my characters. Number 8 is a bookish goal for 2035. I also kind of talked about this. I want to read the books that have been sitting on my shelf for so long. And if I don't read them, I need to figure out what I want to do with them. Because if I'm not going to read them at this point, do I want them? Is the real question. The answer to that might honestly be no, which is really sad, but I just need to figure out what I want to do as far as some of those older books on my shelf go that have been there just for a really long time. Some of them I definitely think I'm going to get to, but there's also like a handful of them that I'm unsure that I'm ever going to read or ever want to read, just because I've grown out of reading those kinds of books. Like, I don't read a lot of contemporary young adult like romance anymore. I tend to skew more towards adult romance if I'm reading just romance, but even then I don't tend to just read romance anymore. I really like a good fantasy element, or I want the kind of contemporary setting to have some kind of harder hitting messages in it. Show me something in a way that I wasn't thinking about before. Those books just don't really do it for me anymore. They're a little too light. Those ones are the ones that have been sitting on my shelf that I don't know if I'm gonna get to or not. I kind of hope I do, but number 10 is a series you want to read this year. I just want to finish series. There are so many series where I've just read all but the last book in the series, and I want to finish one of them. I don't care which one, just one of them. Like, there's the Raven Boys. Haven't read the last book. Read all the other ones. There is the Queen of Air and Darkness series. I don't know what the 2 books in the beginning of that are. Haven't read Queen of Air and Darkness though. There's the Percy Jackson series. Haven't read the last book in that. What else? What else do we have on here that I haven't read the last book of? These Violent Delights. Didn't read the sequel. The Poppy War. Haven't finished that series. Read the first book. Really enjoyed it. I just want to finish one of those series. Any one of them will do. Number 11 is your auto buy authors going into 2025. I only really have a couple of these anymore. I used to say Cassandra Clare. I haven't really bought a lot of her books in a while. She is definitely someone I still tend to, if I see a cool book by her, I'll pick it up. She's not as auto buy anymore as she used to be. But right now, the big one for me is Brandon Sanderson. I'll buy whatever he's putting down. Marissa Meyer is another one where if I kind of just see anything by her, I'll pick it up. I've loved like every single book of hers that I've read. Another one would be Leigh Bardugo. Really enjoy her stuff. There are a few books by her I haven't read, but they're definitely ones that I do want to pick up down the line. I just haven't had the time. Number 12 is a book to show adaptation you're excited about this year. The main thing is, I'm not excited about anything TV show wise because Arcane Season 2 is done and it's never gonna come out again. There's gonna be no more Arcane. I need them to tell me what their next show is gonna be, because they keep saying there's gonna be another show, but I need to know what it's gonna be, and I need to know when it's gonna come out so that I can be excited. Because right now, I'm just scared that we're not gonna get anything else, and it is irritating. The other one is Star Wars in general. I need Star Wars to make more stuff. I love every single show that has been coming out. I'm so excited for Andor Season 2. I know these are not adaptations in any way, but I want to see more Star Wars. These are just, in general, my thoughts on TV shows right now. As far as adaptations that I am excited for, I am mostly just interested in seeing the adaptation of Verity, because we read this with my book club that was started a month ago. That was our first book, and it was so fun to talk about. And so I want to see the adaptation because I feel like it'd just be fun to go with my friends who we talked about this book with, and we all were like, this book is ridiculous and it is so bad. And we all cringed together, and I want to watch that as a movie form and cringe with my friends. So number 13 is a sequel that you're anticipating. I feel like I have talked about this. So I know that I've already talked about the Legendborn Bloodmarked and then whatever the third one is in that series. So I can't talk about that again. So I'm gonna go with the one that is the new Hunger Games book. I did not care about A Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Not gonna lie. I did kind of enjoy the movie. But I am interested in this book because it is gonna be Hamish's Hunger Games. And I wanna know what Hamish did during his Hunger Games and his random romance story that's gonna get thrown in and how it tragically ended and now he's a drunk. That is what I want. We're gonna see if that happens, and I might be very disappointed. I don't know. I find that some of the Hunger Games books for me were very hit or miss. Like the first one was really good, the second one was good, the third one was terrible. And then we have the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes that was like too much random singing, too much. That was my thoughts on that. So I am interested just to see what it is. I'm not sure that I'm gonna enjoy it. I'm not sure that I'll read the whole thing, but I might pick it up, get halfway through, and then put it back down and then never pick it back up again. Number 14 is bookish things are leaving in 2024. If I could leave behind reading slumps, I would. I'm getting really tired of just periodically getting into reading slumps because I just feel so overwhelmed or so busy, and it's like there's not really a lot more going on than what has been going on. That is something I want to try to leave behind. Other things that I'm looking to leave behind: buying books that I don't read. As I said before, too many books on my shelves that I have not read. I have a problem, and that problem is when I go to the bookstore, I need to buy books, and I need to buy so many books, and I need to stop doing that. I need to be a little more intentional about the books that I buy and buy ones that I know that I'm going to want to read sometime soon, because if I don't read them in like the 3 to 4 months after I've bought them, then I don't really want to read them anymore all the time. There are exceptions to that, but that is definitely something that I want to work on. What to expect from this account? So I have a bunch of videos that I've already posted on this account, so you can expect some of that stuff, but it's also been a few years since I've posted anything. I want to just post more and in general show my reading, show my crafting, and just enjoy those things and really try to just give cozy vibes, but also some fun energy. Do what I enjoy doing, which is having fun and talking about the things that I enjoy doing. Number 16 is, how has your reading taste evolved from last year? So in general, from last year, it hasn't evolved a whole lot as of yet. I really do just read a lot more fantasy, and I tend to gravitate more towards fantasy, especially the higher fantasy stuff. I would say between like now and like 5 years ago, it's definitely gravitated more to like the adult fantasy stuff. Definitely the more like political type fantasy where you've got kind of the political intrigue going on. I do also enjoy like a good war epic and stuff like that. That's what I tend to go for, I guess. I also like good magic systems. Magic systems are always fun. The next question is 17. So this is booktube creators who inspire you. This always kind of goes back to some of the OGs. I really love Poem Bananas books. I really love Katie-tastic. I still really enjoy their content, even though they don't post as much anymore. Katie-tastic has started posting again, which has been incredible. Like, it's made me so happy to see her again on the platform and to see her talking about books and stuff, and I just really enjoyed that. So number 18 is something you want to say to anyone wanting to start a bookish account. And I would say just do it. Like, don't really be too nervous about it. It's a great way to get out there. It's a great way to talk about the things that you want to talk about, to document your readings, to document what you love about what you've read, what you hate about what you've read. It is a great way just for you to remember, like, what have you read and when did you read it and did you enjoy it at the time? Because there's definitely a lot of books that when I was a lot younger I read and I don't remember anymore, and they definitely still live on my shelves. I just don't remember as much about them as I wish I did. So that is all the questions for this tag. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, comment down below what your bookish plans are for 2025. What are you planning on reading? What are you planning on not reading? I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye!